Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Check, check, 1, 2. Can you hear me now? Can you guys hear me? Oh, look at that. Look at that, everyone. We have audio. What do you know? Shout out. Hey, we're still getting used to the on-site audio location. Glad you can hear me loud and clear. Guess what? Let's restart. Huh? Shall we? Shall we restart? We are here live with all the technical difficulties. Here behind me, you can see fresh off of practice. You already know I need your help. Smash that like button because clearly we're hot spotting off a cell phone. I got a broken cord on my mic causing me all kinds of problems. But you know who else was causing problems today? You know who else was causing problems today? Nick Bosa, ladies and gentlemen. Nick Bosa was wrecking havoc on the Minnesota Vikings first string offensive line, whether it's Christian Darrisaw or the right tackle across the way. Nick Bosa was going crazy. Cap says, "Where are you?" I'm right outside the facility. So if you take a look right across the way, this is where the Vikings and 49ers were having joint practices. It's actually a really beautiful facility here. It's really nice. And I figured I wanted to get on here. And I shout out to all the SDS. You already know. It doesn't matter if we have technical difficulties or anything else. The show must go on. And that's exactly what happened today. Nick Bosa came out. I guarantee you Nick Bosa had more than 6 sacks on the day. It was phenomenal. There's a specific sequence where Nick Bosa went sack, tackle for loss. It was phenomenal. 3 plays, 3 tackle for losses, 2 sacks. Like, you could tell. So yesterday, when I heard, apparently the word on the streets, Vikings Twitter was talking about how Nick Bosa was held in check yesterday by Christian Darrisaw, and I believe I'm forgetting the right tackle's name, but he's a Brian. I think it's Brian Reed. I could be blowing that, but anyways, per Vikings Twitter, Nick Bosa was held in check yesterday. Something tells me that Nick Bosa caught wind of that. Because yesterday, you could tell that Nick Bosa was winning, but Nick Bosa was winning and then stopping to allow the play to continue. So that's typically what it is. And the 49ers are really good at this because guess what? The 49ers win a lot, and specifically the defensive line. So the defensive line, whether it's Kevin Givens, Kerry Hyder, Nick Bosa, Charles Omenihu, Kamoko Ture, Samson Ebukam, they win, they get out of the way. They let the play develop, and they let that occur. Today, no. They did not let the play develop, and they instantly stopped it as the rain falls down here. So this might be a very short live because it is starting to precipitate. It's starting to rain is what's happening. So it's probably going to be a little bit of a short practice. But shout out, Chris. Let's go. Appreciate you, my guy, dropping the 50-piece. Shout out all the Sourdough Squad. Chris, you're a legend. Thank you so much, man. Really do appreciate it. But this is going to turn into the Nick Bosa segment because the precipitation is picking up as Nick Bosa participated in a masterclass today. Again, I believe Nick Bosa had in the range of 6 sacks. It really was phenomenal. Hold on one second. I'm going to do a little bit. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. The show must go on. The little rain ain't going to stop me. Little rain ain't going to stop your boy. Let's go. Hold on. There we go. So anyways, today, Nick Bosa was on fire. The particular plays that I posted, you got to see of Nick going crazy, but it continued. throughout practice. Nick Bosa, whether it was on the right side or the left side, tackles, tight ends, running back chips, literally did not matter. Nick Bosa was a man possessed today, but so was the entire front seven. The entire front seven was absolutely dominating. Charles Omenihu would have had a sack. Kamoko Toure would have had a sack. Samson Ebukam would have had a sack. Kerry Hyder would have had a sack. Javon Kinlaw on the interior of the defensive line was consistently acquiring two offensive linemen to block him. So the entire front seven was doing extremely well today. Of course, Fred Warner, Aziz Al-Shaair were playing lights out. It's really, really good to see them playing out there. But, the 49ers do miss their starting cornerbacks. No Emmanuel Mosley. Emmanuel Mosley did not participate today. And no Charvarius Ward yet. However, Emmanuel Mosley did dress in pads, participate in individual drills, but he did not take part in the actual team periods. Clearly, they are having a slow ramp-up period for Mosley. So who played in start of them? Yesterday, you had Deommodore Lenoir across from Ken Crawley. Today, you had Ambry Thomas across from Ken Crawley. It was okay. I'm not going to pretend like it was a phenomenal day by the 49ers defensive backs. You also got a lot of George Odom and Talanoa Hufanga on the back end. But again, the 49ers front seven almost erased the entire Vikings offense led by Nick Bosa. Whether it was winning with outside speed, whether it was winning with inside counters, whether it was winning with straight speed to power, Nick Bosa dominated. And it was a different gear today. We saw a completely different gear from Nick Bosa, and Nick Bosa had the best practice that I have ever seen him play. I've been a part of 2 training camps now. This is my first joint practice. I've never seen Nick Bosa play like this in a practice setting. You could absolutely tell he was fired up, ready to go. The 49ers defense and the Vikings offense were chirping heavy. There were almost 2 to 3 fights. Adam Thielen was in the middle of it. You had Aziz, you had Greenlaw. There was a little scuffle that went down that they had all the team, 49ers defense, Vikings offense, hop onto the field. They had to be separated. There's been a big point of emphasis on no fighting in these practices, but they almost got there a couple times. But it was the energy on the 49ers defense, Vikings offense was electric. And I would say that the 49ers defense securely won the battle today. Now, if we want to flip over to the other side of the football, the 49ers offense and Vikings defense was on the opposite field, so they're a little bit further away. Got a little bit of the same of what we talked about yesterday with the 49ers offense. A little bit inconsistent, hard to find a rhythm, dropped passes, not the best protection up front, multiple sacks, multiple drops. It's more of the same on the offensive side. A couple errant passes here or there. You had some good plays, of course. It wasn't all just awful, but it also was that type of offense that I think we have been familiar to, especially like if you go back to last year in the first chunk of the season. There's a lot of clunking. I keep using the word clunky because when I look at an offense that's working well, I want to see rhythm. I want to see plays that supplement the next play. And when you are giving up sacks or you're giving up pressures, it's really hard to get into a rhythm. So the offense was kind of going through this clunky struggle, and ultimately it didn't lead to the best day of football. So I would definitely say the 49ers defense came out on top today and yesterday if we are scoring just the offensive side or 49ers side of the football. Shout out Cash the God. Shout out all the bread gang. Appreciate you guys as we are here on site. Brad, was Kinlaw out there commanding triple teams? They were very interested in neutralizing Javon Kinlaw today. They were definitely committing 2, at times 3. Javon Kinlaw was definitely felt like at least a point of emphasis for the Vikings offense to make sure they're not giving up interior pressure on the day. So ultimately, uh, the star of joint practices have been the front 7. I think we already know the 49ers front 7 is elite, and it's being led by Nick Bosa, and then the literal list of just solid contributors. Again, I already rattled off the names of all the other guys that would have had a sack today. It wasn't just Nick Bosa, it was a lot of guys back there. So overall, it was a really good performance out there. And you know what? We're gonna kick this back on over to the studio. We appreciate. No, I'm just kidding. Um, Shout out all the guys. Define Nuclear. Uh, Define Nuclear. The best I've ever seen Nick Bosa play. So I think that's Nuclear. When Nick Bosa single-handedly disrupts and destroys the Vikings offense, I call that Nuclear. And again, it's not just in the pass game. He was squeezing down the line of scrimmage. He was making tackles for the loss on Dalvin Cook, Alexander Mattison. It was Nick Bosa day today. Nick Bosa came out and gave us a show. So it was Nuclear. It was absolutely fireworks out here in Minnesota. It was wonderful. It was a great way to end practice. Again, back to the offense. The offense wasn't as great. Definitely still a work in progress. Definitely some rhythm things that need to get figured out with the offense. But again, offense is always a little bit more slower to get up to speed. There's a lot more that goes into offensive schemes, getting all the guys to work together, and of course, we already know they have a a new offensive line, pretty much from Trent Williams over, and we had Colton McKivitz starting at right tackle today. You could tell that the defensive line that the 49ers offensive line went up against with the Vikings was significantly better than what was going on in preseason week 1 against the Packers. So not surprised to see them get a little bit more work, if you will, with this Vikings defensive line. Again, you got Danielle Hunter out there. You got Patrick Jones. You have a bunch of other guys that are really good. This Vikings defensive line is pretty damn solid. So although it wasn't great, it was good work. And that's what you're going to be able to take away from this, from an interior offensive line, getting their first real reps against other teams again. And they got reps against the starters. So the Packers, you got no Kenny Clark. It was all the reserves. These last 2 days, the 49ers offensive line got work against the starters. And you could see there was a little bit of a disadvantage, and it definitely tilted towards the Vikings defense, and it kind of cascaded into, I think, a little bit of, again, I keep using the word clunky for the offense, but we'll see how that continues to progress into the season. And how that all works. Someone said, is Trey playing Saturday? KMBR said it's not looking like he will. I believe Kyle Shanahan came out before preseason and said Trey Lance is only going to be playing first and third preseason game. Also, two, he came out yesterday, I believe, when Minnesota reporters were like, hey, Trey Lance, this is his hometown. This is his home state. Are you going to allow him to get some reps? Kyle Shanahan said, no. Nope, not going to happen. So, no, I do not expect Trey Lance to be playing tomorrow. He got a lot, like I'm saying, he got a lot of good work this week. I would say the work that he got in joint practices is going to be anything better than you could get in the preseason game that's going to be happening this weekend. So I do not anticipate Trey Lance playing at all. Shout out, Cap. Appreciate the super chat, my boy. He says Bosa is so chill and soft spoken. The Niners media needs to hype him up every chance we get so he can get the recognition he deserves. Still can't believe he didn't get comeback player of the year last season or all pro. He didn't even get a single vote for comeback player of the year. Now, I was talking to Mike McGlinchey about this, and we were both kind of like, it's hard when you got Joe Burrow, who leads his team to the Super Bowl. Okay, we can understand that. But not getting a vote, not getting a single vote for 15 and a half sacks coming off of ACL, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Also, I think Nick Bosa likes when people talk trash about him because I just witnessed a masterclass from Nick Bosa after Vikings Twitter was victory lapping Christian Jerisaw owning Nick Bosa. Let's not pretend like these guys don't check social media. Let's not pretend like these guys don't look at Twitter. These guys don't look at Instagram. They look at it all. They see it all, whether they want to or not. We've talked to other players. People will send them things. And if you have an entire fan base victory lapping the fact that Nick Bosa got owned, I am not surprised in the slightest that Nick Bosa came out today and turned the energy level up like 40 notches. Like, literally, Nick Bosa said, "Oh, yeah? You like that? You like that?" I don't think Kirk Cousins liked that at all. Kirk Cousins was under duress all day. And I'm telling you, all it was taking the gear and turning it. That's it. He just turned it up. Nothing that he did yesterday was any different. Yesterday, he was pulling up. He was letting the Vikings offense get their plays off. He would get to the edge. Instead of cutting flat, he would just kind of round it off because you can't touch the quarterback and they don't want to disrupt the play. Well, today, Nick Bosa said, screw that. Said, today is my day. Today is Nick Bosa day. 100%. Gammon Brown says, Bosa's trading card is a picture of him being held. Oh, gosh, I love Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa absolutely had a phenomenal day. And again, I got a lot of clips. So I will be posting those to YouTube later. After I get wrapped up here, I'm going to go head to the airport and get my butt back to the Bay Area where I belong. But I will be posting all the highlights. I got a lot of clips. So I'm going to put all the Bosa clips together, and you will be able to see the Nick Bosa masterclass. Now, I didn't get every single one, but I got a majority of them. So you won't have to just take my word for it. I will be able to show you all that type of stuff. Roland says, a lot of YouTubers using your clips for content. As long as they shout me out and they're the right ones, they can. That's all I ask for. Other than that, today wraps up the 2 days of joint practices. The rain's not going to stop us. Being muted isn't going to stop us. Running a hotspot off our cell phone isn't going to stop us. We just keep grinding, baby. We just keep grinding. The grind doesn't stop. I appreciate all you guys who continue to tap in. If you guys want to ask a couple questions here or there, go for it. Go for it. Appreciate the super sticker, Susie QZ. What a legend. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Today was really cool. We also got to see. Let's talk about some wholesome moments. Let's talk about maybe outside of the X's and O's. We got to see Trey Lance. Trey Lance invited his high school from down the road. It's the football team from his former high school. So you got to see all the kids out there. Seeing Trey Lance head on over, dap him up, say what's up to his whole team, take pictures, do all those different types of things. It was really cool to see. Again, Trey Lance continues to just show he's mature, much more mature beyond his years, being 22 years old, and just it's the little things. It's the little things that you really, really appreciate. Kashagas says, "Thank you all for you do, my guy. I really appreciate it. I thank all of you for continuing to tap in." Also, too, one of the really cool things that we got to see from after practice is we got to see Trent Williams linking up with Christian Darrisaw, who's a second-year tackle out of Virginia Tech. He was the guy that I really liked coming out of the draft. Funnily enough, I don't even know if that's a word. I don't even know if funnily is a word. But when I looked at Christian Darrisaw on tape out of Virginia Tech, I referenced him to Trent Williams. Now, no one is Trent Williams. We already understand that. Trent Williams is Trent Williams. There's literally, he's one of one. But when I looked at Christian Darrisaw, I saw traits that reminded me of Trent Williams in the sense of athletic profile, how he could move with his feet, how he managed in pass protection. And I will say, watching Christian Darrisaw these 2 days, really impressed with the young kid at left tackle for the Vikings. I think he's going to be a good one. But it was really cool to see Trent Williams with Christian Darrisaw after practice, and he's working. He's showing them like you can tell they were. Trent Williams was kind of spitting game, like this is what you do in this situation. This is how you work your kick step. This is how you punch and kick step in these situations. And I was like, hell yeah! Like I get it. Vikings are the opponent. They're the enemy. But I love those types of things. I love seeing other players, especially veterans, pass off their knowledge to the younger guys that are coming up. At the end of the day, I don't care what team you're on in that sense. After practice, everything's good. And you had Trent Williams out here passing on knowledge to one of the next guys coming up in the NFL. So I love to see that, man. I really do. It was really cool to see. So that was some of the wholesome moments. Shout out Bill Harris for the super sticker. I kind of like standing up while doing the live. I'm not gonna lie. I'm normally sitting. I can move. I can do all the different activities. I can kick step. We can kick step on the live. Kick step. We can do it all, man. I could do a whole O-line routine for you right now, but I'm not going to. And shout out the rain. It stopped raining. So that's nice. That is nice. I hear you guys. Mosquitoes, bro. What did someone call it? I think Aloha Smitty called the mosquito the state bird of Minnesota. I'm starting to see why he said that. There's also a giant dragonfly that's the size of my face on the wall over here. Great. I love nature, though. It's cool that we got the backdrop behind us. Yeah, I am in my natural habitat. Like I'm gonna be coming out of the bushes, like scaring Viking fans, and just like start pass blocking Vikings fans as they walk by. Like, hey, where you going? Where you going? But I kind of like the standing up thing. It's kind of nice. I kind of like being outside too. That's kind of nice. I'm always sitting down, so this is cool. Nice change of scenery. Minus the bugs and the rain and being muted for half the time. But hey, we made it work. Let me try to go through some other things that maybe I didn't talk about here. Let's see here. Diamador looked okay today. He had a pretty good rep on Justin Jefferson where he knocked the ball out on one-on-ones. Azeez Al-Shaair had a pass breakup to end the period. Oh, Oren Burks had a nasty hit stick. Oren Burks had an absolutely nasty hit stick on a running back and a pass to the flat. All he did was kind of put his shoulder into him. Literally, the running back's feet came up to about right here. Just absolutely rocked him. My whole timeline is basically Nick Bosa sack, Nick Bosa sack, Nick Bosa sack. Samson Ebukam, Kamoko Toure would have absolutely beheaded Kirk Cousins if they were running 100%. But that led to a Quantrez Knight interception. Quantrez Knight, I like Quantrez Knight. I don't know if Quantrez Knight is making the roster, but I do like Quantrez Knight. I think he has potential. I could see him being a practice squad guy that sticks around, maybe gets some run. Danny Gray. Oh, I think I'm getting eaten alive right now by a mosquito. Gotcha, sucker. Danny Gray had a nice catch. Danny Gray continues to show that he's not just a speed guy, right? I think we look at Danny Gray, we see the speed, we see him running go routes, like we see him burning back past safeties or Pat Pete or any of that. But what I like to see from Danny Gray is him make contested catches over the middle and show that he's more than just a straight line speed guy. I think Danny Gray continues to keep showing that, and I really appreciate that. Malik Turner had a nice win in one-on-ones. Samuel Womack had a nice pass breakup. And Ambry Thomas had a nice pass breakup on Justin Jefferson today in one-on-ones. So that was good to see. Ray McLeod had a really beautiful catch over it was like a Willie Mays type catch. It was like one of those where he had to like look behind, like my headphones are going to fall off, but he had to look like back like this and brought it in for a touchdown. It was really nice. Kyle Juszczyk, first play of the day, beat Eric Kendricks deep for a touchdown and one-on-one. So overall, I mean, I'm not going to lie, 49ers look really good in one-on-ones. It's one that they got to play behind, in front of that Vikings defensive line that gets a little hairy. But again, that's to be expected. Literally, Aaron Banks, Jake Brendel, and Spencer Burford all getting real, meaningful first-team reps for the first time in their career. So you imagine it's going to take some time. Remember, football isn't a linear process. You have good days, you have bad days, but as long as you are building those days and continuing to trend up, it's okay to have down days, but you have to keep that trend riding up. So far, I think there's nothing from the 49ers offense to me that is like concerning. Again, I see first-time starting quarterback, first-time right guard, first-time center, first-time left guard, and a backup right tackle in Colton McKivitz. So there's going to be some bumps and bruises along the way, but I'm glad that they're getting the work that they're getting now, and I think it's going to translate into good things down the line. Again, remember, the 49ers had a pretty solid setup last year, and they had a hard time really kicking the offense into gear until week 10. It took a really long time. I remember coming on and doing these lives and talking about what is the 49ers identity? There's no rhythm. What is their offense? What is this? What are they doing? What are they trying to accomplish? I don't know. I don't see it. And week 10, things started clicking, and then they were able to rattle off enough wins to get to the NFC Championship. Almost another Super Bowl. Mills looks good. We should sign another lineman, though. Mills does look good. I do agree with that. I've seen that narrative kind of floating around on Twitter. I don't know if I'm one of those guys to abandon Colton McKivitz. I think Colton McKivitz has a very solidified role as a guy who can play both tackle spots and both guard spots, and that is extremely valuable. Um, but I will say, Jordan Mills, although he doesn't make a ton of wow plays from a blocking standpoint, he also doesn't lose a lot. He's really good in pass protection. I think that was one of the biggest things that stood out to me in training camp from the very first day that he showed up. Jordan Mills is extremely stout in pass protection. He's got a very strong base to the point where he is really good at keeping his feet apart but able to move and mirror defensive linemen, which is half the battle for these offensive linemen. And he's able to keep that base. He's able to keep a strong grip on these guys. And it might not be athletically beautiful, but he just gets the job done. So I like him. We'll see what happens, though. Jalen Moore should be coming back in a little bit. Cap said Nick Bosa built the hospital that he was born in. Nick Bosa's a freak, man. I don't literally built in a laboratory. Pay him all the money. Pay him all of the money. All of it. I don't care. Give him all the money. Give him top quarterback money. I want Nick Bosa to be here for as long as we can imagine. Nick Bosa continues to just be a phenomenal player. He is him and Fred Warner are like the tone setters of the defense. When Nick Bosa was churning it up today, it felt like everyone else was vibing off of it. Now, Fred Warner always brings the juice. You can 100% rely on Fred Warner to bring the juice no matter what, even in a drought. Fred Warner's bringing the juice. Doesn't matter. But when those two guys are both amped and at the same level, it's like the entire defense feeds off of it, and it's a lot of fun to watch. I'm trying to think. You had some good plays on the offense. You had Debo making a couple plays over the middle. You had Trey Lance hit George Kittle over the middle for a nice play. So you still had some plays going on the offense. Again, my biggest thing with the offense is, again, consistency, rhythm, stacking plays, stacking series. That's how I judge a successful offense. You can be good in spurts. You can be good in splash plays, but that to me doesn't show to me what a top tier, high level operating offense is. I need to see consistency. I need to see back to back to back. Or if you have a bad play, how do you bounce back from it? All those types of things still feels a little clunky. Again, it's the word that I keep coming back to for the 49ers offense. But we already understood going into this year what it was going to be. It was going to be a lot of defense, a lot of defense. And I think that's how it's going to continue to be. I think the 49ers are going to rely on the backs of DeMeco Ryans, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, Azeez Al-Shaair, Dre Greenlaw, all these guys. And then when E-Man and Charvarius Ward get back, it's gonna be a fun time. This defense is gonna be really fun. And if you then get those splash plays from the offense, then okay, that works. That's fine. The offense doesn't need to be this completely well-oiled, efficient machine. All you need is a couple splash plays here or there, and the offense to not turn over the football, and then things will go in the right direction. Jordan Mason looked good today. Shocking, right? Jordan Mason looked good today. TDP looked good today. Jeff Wilson had a run or two. Jeff Wilson's looked pretty decent. I've admittedly been getting Jeff Wilson and TDP mixed a couple times because you got the 32 and the 22, and they're very far away. But both of them have been looking pretty decent. Trey Sermon, I feel like can't break free. Again, hard to see from where I'm at, so I'm not going to say anything definitively about the running backs one way or the other because I don't have a great look at the offensive line. I don't know what the holes that are being generated look like, what the timing is, how they're reading the whole. I just don't have a good vantage point, so I can't give a solid evaluation based in really any type of foundational things that I've seen, other than I just see them kind of keep running into a pile and not really breaking free. It's kind of what I've been seeing a lot of the running backs for the most part. Cap says, Death once almost had a near Nick Bosa experience. I don't even know if Death will be able to come for Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa will sack Death if he ever showed up. But anyways, again, there's a lot to like. I think Juwan Jennings has had a better joint practice. Now, Juwan Jennings hasn't been perfect either, but I think Juwan Jennings played with a little bit more juice these last 2 days. I felt like he did a good job attacking the ball in a couple instances and continuing to work over the middle. I think Ray McLeod continues to show he's going to be a guy in this offense. Again, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk are going to be those weapons, but also, too, those two guys got to catch everything that's thrown to them. You had a pretty egregious drop from Brandon Ayuk today. But other than that, you already know those guys are dogs, and they're going to go out there and make plays. We're talking about practice, so I take it with a grain of salt. Obviously, you want to see that translate to Sundays, where they are being as efficient as possible and catching everything that goes their way. Still got a little bit of drops, but we'll see how that translates into the season. Kittle looked good today. Tanner Hudson had a bad drop today. Trying to think what else. It's a good day though. Good. And you can always take good from the bad too. That's the best thing about football is you can always take something that, okay, you didn't do this well, didn't do that well. How do we identify it and how do we get better at it? So I think nothing but good came away from these joint practices. No injuries. Everything went pretty well for the most part. No fights. You had a couple scuffles here or there. But you still see the potential in the offense. And I will also say, I don't know if Kyle was scheming it up. I really did think Kyle was going to kind of let loose with some scheme stuff a little bit more. I don't think he did. I don't think, you didn't get Trey Lance running. You didn't get the implementation of zone read a whole lot. So it did seem like the offense was a little vanilla, but we'll see. 100%. Chuck Norris passed the baton to Nick Bosa. 100%. 100%. Yes, I was actually going to post about this. I didn't get to it, but saw JV working off to the side. The post, I was going to tweet it. I was just going to say, I commend Jason Verrett for, again, the way he's attacking his rehab right now, off to the side, the way he's been attacking his rehab all off season. Again, I feel like this guy knows rehab more than he knows playing at this point, but you can still see the way that Jason Verrett is attacking his rehab is he's attacking it in a way. I'm a big body language guy when it comes to football. So that was something that I've been scouting when I was a player. So I have a lot of experience with it. I feel like I get a good read on players, what effort looks like, what someone who's really working through drills and trying to be the best at it, what that looks like. Because you can half-ass a drill, you can half-ass this, you can you can pinpoint guys that are just going through the motions. And when I saw Jason Verrett today, he looked like a guy that was determined to get back. Again, he's working off to the side, he's doing warm-ups, he's doing stuff like that, but he's not half-assing it. He's working. And for a guy who's had as many injuries as he's had, season-ending injuries, potentially career-ending injuries, to still see him on that side field working his ass off, I freaking love it. I wanted to tweet about it today. I didn't get to it, but thank you for asking the question, because I did notice JV 2 days in a row, and again, working. He is trying to get back, so I'm really, really looking forward to it. Nick Bosa can tie his shoes with his feet. What a legend. Drake looking good. Yeah, Drake Jackson's looking good. Drake Jackson had a little funny moment. Going into the locker room before he got onto the buses. He was walking in, gave him a little head nod. He looked at these Vikings fans that were like standing out, and he gave like a sarcastic, "Hey, you like that?" I was like, okay, this guy's a 49ers legend. Love him already. But Drake Jackson in practice has looked really good. You see the traits, like he's got it, and he's going to be one of those guys that once he continues to develop and get more polish, Drake Jackson is going to be a guy that I imagine is going to have an impact on the 49ers for some time. So really like what I've seen out of Drake Jackson so far. Really like what I've seen from a majority of the rookies. Samuel Womack had a PBU today. So guys are looking good. Castro Fields had an interception today. Tariq Castro Fields had an interception today. Is it Hufunga? Yeah, 100% it's Hufunga season. It's clearly Hufunga next to Ward when Ward comes back. It's 100% Hufunga season. I almost imagine he's going to get all the run next to Jimmy Ward, and he looks really good. So I like that. George Odom has been looking better. I think George Odom played over Tarvarius Moore today. Tarvarius Moore actually would have had a sack today on a blitz off the edge, so he came screaming around. I would have called it a sack, but again, he didn't touch him, tagged him off, kept the play going. But Tarvarius Moore would have had a sack today. So for the most part, I like what I'm seeing out of George Odom. I think Tarvarius Moore has a role, but Tarvarius Moore seems like a guy that you want kind of maybe more around the line of scrimmage, maybe using off the edge on blitzes and things like that. I don't know if you necessarily want Tarvarius Moore in man coverage because Justin Jefferson gave him some good work yesterday. So we'll see how it works. I think Jimmy Ward is like really the only true like natural cover safety that we have. I think Talanoa Hufanga is really smart and really good at playing leverage and doing those types of things and puts himself in position to make plays. But I think Jimmy Ward's the best cover safety that we have. Not only is he the best cover safety that we have, he's just a dog. He's going to do everything. It doesn't matter. He's going to clamp tight ends. He's going to clamp slot receivers. He's going to make tackles in the run game. So the 49ers are missing their starting DBs at the moment outside of Talanoa. But again, the front seven is when you got that front seven and you got Nick Bosa going nuclear out there, it's good. You can see how they can still get plays and make plays regardless of having backups on the back end. So overall, really good day of practice for the defense. 49ers defense was lights out today. Specifically the front seven, and even more specifically, Nick Bosa and the defensive line. It was a lot of fun here at joint practices. I am probably now going to head to the airport. Thankfully, it did not rain on me. And shout out to all the SDS for sticking through our technical difficulties at the beginning. I appreciate you guys. It's been a technical difficulty type trip as we get started, but once we get started, it's much better from there on out. I'll answer a couple more questions. How did the O-line look today? Not great. Not great. They definitely were having trouble still with the Vikings defensive line, still giving them some fits for sure. D'Amico said they played Quantrez Knight at safety today. Did know the kid was a 2 player did you see? I didn't necessarily seen him lined up at safety, but on that kind of correlates to this particular question. Samson Ebukam and Kamoko Ture would have had a sack, and Quantrez Knight came away with the interception, and a really nice interception. Quantrez Knight has made a couple plays in 7-on-7 periods. He's had a couple pass breakups over the last couple days. So I've said it before. I like Quantrez. I think he hasn't been perfect. So someone just tagged me in this photo that of Trey Sermon holding his ankle. So I just got tagged in this photo. I know it's really, really hard to see, but it's Trey Sermon bent over holding his right ankle. And someone said that he was walking very, very, very gingerly bus after practice. So someone is saying, and that's from the AG Fox on Twitter. So they're saying that there might be some potential news to come out about Trey Sermon injuring his right ankle. So I guess that's something to monitor. Again, nothing official from the team, but it is something that has come out. So we'll see what happens with that. The sun only rises if Nick Bosa allows it. Otherwise, Nick Bosa blocks out the sun. That's pretty much how it works. I love these Nick Bosa-isms. Absolutely fire. So again, something to keep an eye on. Maybe we'll find out. Trey Sermon has a high ankle. We'll find out in that regard. But that is from something I was just tagged in on Twitter. Again, nothing official. So don't take any. Don't get too crazy with it. We'll see. It could be something. Could be nothing. We'll find out what it is. Hopefully, he gets back, and we'll see. We'll see what happens with Trey. I'm hoping that it's nothing serious that we got to worry about. But anyways, I think that's good for today. Appreciate everyone. Shout out Joey. Hashtag Bosa was held, and he still wreaked havoc on the Vikings offensive line. Doesn't matter. You hold Bosa, you don't hold Bosa. Nick Bosa's gonna schmirk you. So a phenomenal day highlighted by Nick Bosa and the 49ers defense against the Vikings. I would say the 49ers defense had the better day out of both the days compared to the 49ers offense. Definitely 49ers defense ruled the day. Obviously, we have some notes about the 49ers offense. Need to get into the rhythm. Struggling a little bit with the offensive line up front, to be expected, and just getting into rhythm. Things that they'll continue to work on as they continue to move on. Again, might have some injury news with Trey Sermon. We'll continue to monitor all that and see how it plays out. But overall, great 2 days here at practice. Here with the Vikings. Beautiful facilities, as you can see behind me. Just absolutely really love this place. It's a great place to watch practice. They have a great courtyard area where they do all different kinds of activities and food, and shout out the Vikings. They're doing it right. It's a really great spot to watch practice. Other than that, I think that's it for me today. Again, I'll be hopping on a plane later today, but keep an eye out for the Nick Bosa highlights. I'll be posting those onto YouTube later, so I'm gonna compile all my Nick Bosa clips, pop them into one video, and then shoot them out onto YouTube. So keep an eye out for that. Hit that noti bell so you don't miss it. Make sure when you see that video go live, hit the like button on it. Hit the like button on this post, on this stream. We're outside, baby. We're outside. So make sure you hit the like button on the outside stream. It's a good one. I like being outside. It's fun. It's a good time. Shout out to everyone who's followed along on this journey here in Minnesota. Appreciate everyone who has been liking the tweets, retweeting the tweets, liking the posts, liking the videos, all that kind of stuff. You guys already know. Definitely helps me out, as you already know, but I don't need to tell you all that. Shout out to all the bread gang out there. Sourdough Squad is a vibe. Always undefeated, just like Nick Bosa. So I appreciate you guys. I'm going to head to the airport. That's it.